一段と早くなったじゃないか My friend.
If you grew up loving the now classic animation Final Fantasy Advent Children, then you're already familiar with the characters and general theme of this game. For those who don't know, Final Fantasy VII was originally released on PS1 back in 1997. Decades later, Square Enix decided to remake this beloved title, but instead of releasing one complete game, they stretched the story into 3 full-length RPGs, 2 of which have been released so far. Today, I'll be talking about the second game in the series, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Right off the bat, I'll mention that I had mixed feelings about the first game, the remake, and my expectations for this one were already very low, especially since the reviews consistently mentioned how unnecessarily long it was. However, since it had been in my backlog for quite some time, I decided to give it a go. In this review, I'll break down the good and bad of this popular Japanese RPG. Let's start with the obvious, the graphics. From the very beginning, as you'd expect after playing the first game, you'll notice how beautiful Rebirth looks. That said, in terms of art direction, large portions of the game don't offer much to admire. But if we're just talking about raw technical power, it's undeniably a pretty game. A few years ago, when I played Final Fantasy VII Remake on my PS4, I was in awe of how incredible it looked. This time though, I wasn't surprised or fascinated by any section of the game. Maybe it's because I played it right after Expedition 33, a jaw-dropping masterpiece. Still, for the average gamer, Rebirth should look good enough to hold their attention. Alright, let's talk about the combat. If you played the first game, you'll find the combat very similar with a few new additions. However, if you're new to the series, you might find it unique. There aren't many games with this kind of hybrid fighting system. The original Final Fantasy VII had turn-based combat, but the remake switched to a real-time hybrid system.